Okay, so now we have our awesome post called My Awesome Hike with something about cats with our cat ipsum. And I want to talk about categories. So if we assume for a second that we have, whatever, 100 blog posts, because we've been blogging for a long time, and we want to have them grouped together somehow. WordPress calls these taxonomies. The primary taxonomy that they use for blog posts is categories. They do have tags as well. For our purposes today, we're going to talk about categories. So what we could do is, or what you should do, I suppose, the recommendation here is that as you start to get more blog posts on your website, assuming you're writing a blog, you start to categorize them. So if we're making this a hiking site, maybe we have a category of winter hikes and summer hikes, or fall hikes or spring hikes, or hikes with pet-friendly hikes or horse-friendly hikes. And then the other option you have is to go geographic, of course. So we could say, I'm looking west, so maybe we do Front Range hikes, we do Wyoming hikes. So you can group them in whatever way makes the most sense for your reader. A lot of websites out there do recipes, and so they might use breakfast meals and lunch meals and dinner meals as ways to group their posts. So, okay, so for our purposes, I'm going to create a couple categories. And so we've created them called summer hikes and winter hikes, just keeping it straightforward. And then the slug you see over here is what is used in the URL structure of the website. So if you'll notice back over here, if I go to my post, and I click on the title, you see up here there's this permalink. And the permalink has the year, the month, and the day, and then it says My Awesome Hike, which is perfectly fine if that's the way you want your structure set up. One of the very first things I do when I create a new site is I go over here under Settings and I click on Permalinks. So if we do that right now, you'll notice that the permalinks are set to year, month, and day, and then the name of the post. So if we go back to our post and click on the title, it's year, month, day, and then the name of the post. And if we were to go look at that post, that's exactly what the URL would be. It would be, yourdomain.com/2019-1027, the name of your post. What I tend to prefer is a simpler structure. So I like to have quite often just the post name. So if I change that, you'll notice that this structure, all these tags down here changes. So you don't have to know what these are. You just click the button that says post name and it's going to just show post name. So I want you to see what happens here. So when I save this and then I go back to my post and I'm going to refresh, what we should see is now when I click on the title, all that is gone. So the year, month, and day are gone and it just says My Awesome Hike. And if I were to open that in a new tab, it's just going to be our domain name /My Awesome Hike. So it's nice and clean, and there's no mess in between there. Now, one thing I will say, and this is not a class about SEO, but if you're concerned about SEO, it is actually not a bad idea to put something in front of your post name. So you don't necessarily need to have the year, month, and day, but you could do something like, maybe not archives, but maybe we do blog. So after our URL, I would just do a /blog, and then it's already got a / in there for me, and then post name, and then a closing /. So let's just see what happens. If I save that, this is probably going to break because it doesn't exist anymore. What the database is looking for is the word blog, and I'm just going to type it in here. We can fix it. If I just do blog / my awesome hike, our page should come right back up, and there we go. So now any post, so if we go back down here where we can go back to the previous post that WordPress gave us automatically, this goofy hello world one, when I go back to that post, the blog is automatically going to be in there. So let's watch that happen. So there we are. Now we're on the hello world post, and blog is there in front of it, and that's because we told the structure of WordPress that as we're doing our blogs, I want the word blog in front of it. And so that's how we get that to show up. Okay.